everybody so worried about everything else now instead of what it was built on. Like your game, competing, winning, going out there, you know, giving everything you got. It's like everybody's so caught up in all the shit that don't matter anymore.
How did that love of the game fuel your career?
It was the basis of my career. My love of the game within my contract, which, you know, I'm pretty sure most contracts now, I'm actually positive now, don't have that clause within the contract.
One place where he often invoked that clause was in late night games at his summer basketball camp for kids at suburban Elmhurst College. On many hot summer nights after the young basketball campers went to bed, Michael would join in fierce basketball battles against the college players helped to run the camp.
You see the players of today's basketball with that mindset to achieve greatness?
It's hard to be hungry when you have. Simple as that.
Michael Jordan just shook the entire basketball world with one brutally honest statement about today's NBA players. And trust me, this wasn't some bitter old head rant. What he said hit deep, exposing a problem that's slowly destroying the soul of basketball itself. Before anyone rolls their eyes thinking it's just Jordan taking shots at the new generation, listen closely. This one's about mindset, not skill. What he's pointing out goes beyond talent, athleticism, or highlights. It's about the fire that's missing, the hunger that built legends. Jordan doesn't speak recklessly anymore. He knows every word gets dissected and replayed a million times. But in his latest NBC interview, something snapped. He dropped his guard and spoke from the heart. His words sliced right through the glamour and hype of modern basketball. He said today's players struggle to stay hungry once they've made it. And when you hear the story he shared, you'll see exactly what he means. Back in the day, Jordan had something in his contract that no modern player would ever dream of agreeing to. Something called the love of the game clause. This clause literally gave him permission to play basketball anytime, anywhere, even if it wasn't with the Bulls. If he saw a random pickup game while driving past a park, he could jump right in. No questions asked. And if he got hurt, didn't matter. His contract was still 100% guaranteed. That's how much MJ loved basketball. He wanted no one, not even his team, to stop him from hooping. Who does that today? And here's the crazy part. He actually used that clause at his summer camps. After the kids went to sleep, Jordan would sneak out and play against college players running the camp. Midnight battles, pure competition, no cameras, no fans, just passion. This man had already conquered everything. Titles, fame, money, global recognition. And he still played like he was chasing a dream. He wasn't showing off. He just couldn't stop competing. That's how deep the game ran in him.
How did that love of the game fuel your career?
It was the basis of my career. My love of the game within my contract, which, you know, I'm pretty sure most contracts now, I'm actually positive now, don't have that clause within the contract where
you had a clause in your contract.
Love of the game contract, right, that if I was driving with you down the street and I see a basketball game on the side of the road, I can go play in that basketball game. And if I get hurt, my contract is still guaranteed. I love the game so much that I would never let someone take the opportunity for me to play the game.
But Jordan's story wasn't just about basketball. It was a wake-up call about drive. He dropped a line that hit every player in the gut. It's hard to be hungry when you have everything. That right there says it all. Back in his era, players had to fight tooth and nail for recognition. For every dollar, for every ounce of respect. Making it to the league didn't mean the mission was over. It meant the grind had just begun. They remembered where they came from, and that memory kept them sharp.
You see the players of today's basketball with that mindset to achieve greatness?
It's hard to be hungry when you have. Simple as that. I mean, if you don't have, you are willing to do whatever you have. So my mental approach was go in, do my job, be the best basketball player I can be, and all the chips and everything outside of that, I had people that was handling that, you know. But basketball court, I'm handling.
Fast forward to today, and the landscape looks completely different. Players are walking into $200, $300, even $400 million contracts before they've truly proven themselves. Role players, guys who would have been scraping by on the league minimum back in the day, are now pulling in $20 million a year. And with all that comfort, that urgency, that desperation, it fades. The hunger that made Jordan sneak into midnight gyms just to compete, it's gone for most. That's what he's warning about. Not hating, not complaining, but sounding the alarm. Because when players stop loving the game the way he did, the game itself starts to lose something priceless. Jordan wasn't just talking about talent. He was calling out what happens after these players get that massive paycheck. Too many of them lose that edge the second those zeros hit their bank accounts. Suddenly, missing games for minor tweaks becomes routine, effort turns into acting, and that hungry energy that got them the contract in the first place, gone.
Now it's like, it's a prerequisite. You know, everybody has to have a logo. Everybody has to have a...
You know why, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm part of the reason why everybody tries to get a logo, but...
Brand, right?
A brand.
Right, brand Jordan.
But the thing is that brand is established based on what I did on the basketball court.
Michael Jordan, the Magic Johnsons, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley's, we earned what we got. When the corporate America came to us, we had a game that could validate their admiration and
sponsorship and all that, yeah.
Now they get that before they play one game.
Jordan lived by a completely different code, and the story that proves it is flat out legendary. Early in his career, he fractured his foot, and doctors told him he had a 10% chance of re-injuring it if he returned too soon. His agent tried to talk sense into him, saying, "Imagine you've got 10 pills, but one's laced with cyanide. Would you take it?" Jordan didn't hesitate. He looked dead serious and asked, "How bad is the headache? Can you believe that?" That line right there shows exactly who he was. A man willing to risk everything just to step back on the court and compete. That's not normal. That's obsession. And that's the piece he says today's players are missing.
And, you know, at that time, it was about 10% chance that I can re-injure my ankle or my foot. He says, if you have a headache and you got 10 tablets and one of them is coated with cyanide, would you take the Tylenol? And I looked at him, I said, how bad is the headache?
But here's where it gets even deeper. Jordan doesn't just blame the money. He says the real problem starts way before players even touch an NBA court. The system is creating comfort before the competition even begins. Back in the day, you had to earn it. Magic, Bird, Barkley, Dr. J, those guys had to prove themselves on the floor before any company dared to cut a check. You had to win games, dominate, fill arenas, and then came the endorsements. When a brand showed up, it was because you had already made yourself undeniable.
You know, I didn't put the brand before I put the work. Mm-hmm. You know, right. I put the work first, and then the brand evolved based on the work.
Right.
A lot of times it's different. You see it in every sport, not just basketball, football, baseball. Everybody's walking around with a logo and a hat, and I get it. But whatever I did here is never going to affect what I do on the basketball court.
Now, the whole process is flipped upside down. You can be a top draft pick and sign a $50 million shoe deal with Nike before ever playing a single NBA minute. Think about that. Before a player even laces up in a real game, they're already rich, famous, and branded. So what's left to fight for every night? Jordan broke it down perfectly. The reward used to follow the grind. Today, the reward replaces it. And when that happens, the hunger fades fast. It's not like Jordan doesn't understand branding. He built one of the biggest brands in sports history. The difference is, his brand came from the work. The highlights, the championships, the clutch moments, the swagger. Those things created the Jordan brand. The sneakers sold because of what he did under pressure, not because of a marketing plan. He said it himself. The brand existed because of the work, not the other way around. Every dunk, every buzzer beater, every time he refused to lose, that's what sold shoes. It was real, authentic, earned. Now, players chase the brand before they even chase greatness. They're designing logos, launching merch, and signing deals before they've even proven they can win. It's like everyone wants to be iconic before they've actually done anything iconic. Sure, there are a few exceptions, like Cade Cunningham, who's using his massive Nike deal as motivation to grind harder, not coast. Jordan respects that because it's rare. For every Cade out there are 10 others who get that deal and immediately slam on the brakes. Jordan said it best. It's become a requirement now. Everybody's got to have a logo, a brand, a slogan, like it's part of the job description. Even role players are walking around with signature shoes. Back in Jordan's era, having your own shoe meant you were special. It was an honor that had to be earned.
As long as you understand that this is always going to be what you're remembered for, basketball and your love for basketball should always be pure. We would play this game, I've always said this, we would play this game for free. We did. And now we just so happen to get paid for it. Generationally, you know, I like to think that most of the time that people will remember Michael Jordan based on what he did on the basketball court and not always the commercials that he did.
Now, guys averaging 12 points per game have sneaker lines. And the wildest part, Jordan's own brand athletes are guilty of exactly what he's warning against. Take Zion Williamson, a Jordan brand athlete who was hyped as the next face of the league, the next chosen one. But what happened? He got the massive rookie contract, the shoe deal, the fame, and the drive. It started slipping. Jordan's message couldn't be clearer. When the brand becomes bigger than the ball, the game loses its soul. And right now we're watching that play out in real time. Zion got all the hype and then vanished. Constant injuries, weight issues, long stretches of missed games. It's like he had everything handed to him before he'd actually earned anything. The fame came first, and the responsibility never followed. He couldn't handle the pressure, the spotlight, or the expectations. And Zion isn't alone. Ja Morant's story hits the same nerve. For a while, Ja was the most electric player in the league, dropping jaw-dropping highlights every night and bringing that wild, fearless energy fans loved. He had the whole basketball world in his hands and then threw it all away. The guns, the suspensions, the reckless behavior, he turned superstardom into self-destruction. Here's the wild twist. Both Zion and Ja are Jordan brand athletes. They wear MJ's logo on their sneakers while proving his exact point about how giving young stars everything too soon can ruin them. It's almost poetic. The Jumpman himself watching his brand's new faces crumble under the same pressure he once thrived under. Jordan earned everything he got, the money, the respect, the empire, by putting in the work and winning when it mattered.
It's just amazing how Michael just became who he was, not just as a player, but an endorser, carrying the league on his back, with great players still in the game. Bird's still playing and Magic still playing. I mean, everybody was looking toward Mike.
Meanwhile, these new stars got handed the keys to the kingdom before they'd even proven they could guard the gate. Jordan's criticism isn't about jealousy, it's about priorities. He's not just talking about effort or training. He's talking about what truly drives a player. What comes first in your heart? For Jordan, the answer was always basketball. It wasn't a job or a business. It was his first love, his obsession, the thing that made his world spin. He said it best, "We would have played this game for free." And he meant it. They did play for free. On cracked concrete courts, sweating under streetlights, before any fame or fortune existed. That's the difference. Jordan's love for the game was pure. Everything else, the fame, the endorsements, the money, came as a side effect of that obsession. But for a lot of today's stars, the game itself has become the side hustle. For too many players now, basketball is just the platform that funds their real passion. The brand building, the social media growth, the business empire, the lifestyle. The grind used to be about greatness. Now it's about algorithms and follower counts. And Jordan sees that as a fatal flaw. Because if you don't love the game first, you'll never push yourself like a true champion. There's an old saying Jordan lived by. The hungriest wolf isn't the one on top of the hill, it's the one climbing it. That was him every single night. Even when he was the best in the world, he still played like he had something to prove. Multiple championships, global fame, billionaire status, didn't matter. He was still chasing the next win like a rookie fighting for a roster spot. That's the difference between a legend and everyone else. But Jordan's greatness went beyond just hunger and work ethic. He was a rare mix of contradictions that made him unstoppable. He was fiercely competitive, cocky, even arrogant. One of the coldest trash talkers the game has ever seen. He'd destroy you on the court, then tell you exactly how he did it. Yet at the same time, he was deeply humble about the game itself. He never forgot that basketball made him. He respected the craft, the fans, the arena, the grind. He showed up every night ready to give people their money's worth because he knew they came to see something special and he refused to cheat them. Most athletes lean one way or the other. They're either humble and quiet, but lack that killer edge, or they're loud and confident but lose sight of what matters. Jordan was both. He had the ego of a superstar and the discipline of a blue-collar worker clocking in for a shift. That balance is what allowed him to carry the NBA without ever fumbling the responsibility. The league in the 90s hit the jackpot with Michael Jordan as its face. He was electric. High-flying dunks, icy clutch shots, unmatched competitiveness. He showed up night after night, barely missing games, giving everything he had every time he laced up. He wasn't just marketable, he was magnetic. Fans couldn't look away because every moment felt like a show. But under all the fame, he worked like a man who never forgot where he came from. He didn't act like the game owed him anything. He treated it like a gift. That's why he became the perfect storm. World-class talent, relentless drive, and a deep respect for the sport itself. And now, as the NBA stands at a crossroads, that's the lesson he's trying to pass down. LeBron's era is winding down. Curry and Durant are aging, and a new generation is stepping up. Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Victor Wembanyama, Anthony Edwards, all dripping with potential. But Jordan's message to them is clear as day. Talent isn't enough. Skill isn't enough. Highlights and hype aren't enough. If you want to carry the NBA into the next era the way Jordan did, you've got to love the game more than you love what comes from it. More than the money, more than the fame, more than the followers and the brands, because when that love leads the way, greatness follows every single time. That's what greatness really takes. Being willing to play pickup basketball at midnight, even when you're already rich beyond belief. Being ready to risk injury just to get back on the court because you need to compete. Showing up every single night, even when your body's sore, your legs are heavy, and nobody would blame you for sitting out. That's the Jordan way. That's the blueprint. Jordan's not just being an old head talking about the good old days. He's giving out a real warning. He's saying, watch what happens when priorities get flipped. When the brand starts coming before the work, when the money starts coming before the love for the game. That's when basketball starts losing its heartbeat. The question is, are today's young stars even listening? Will they take what Jordan's saying and make changes? Or will they keep chasing fame, shoe deals, and viral moments instead of legacy, grit, and greatness? Because if they keep going down this road, they'll only prove him right. Jordan isn't stressing about one or two players. He's worried about the culture of basketball itself. He's looking at the soul of the sport and wondering if the next generation still loves it the way he and his peers did. Because when basketball stops being a passion and becomes just a paycheck, everything suffers. The energy drops, the effort fades, the product loses its spark. That magic, that electricity that made people fall in love with the game in the first place, starts disappearing. And when that happens, no amount of flashy highlights or sponsorship deals can replace it. That's why Jordan's words hit so hard. They come from someone who's lived it, someone who bled for the game, who gave everything to it, and who still cares about its future. He's not being bitter, he's being protective. He sees the warning signs that most people are ignoring. Whether today's stars want to admit it or not, Jordan's asking questions that can't be dodged forever. The way this next generation responds, that's what's going to decide the future. Will the 2030s be another golden era of basketball full of passion, loyalty, and greatness? Or will it be the decade where the league slowly loses its edge and turns into just another business? What do you think? Is Jordan right about today's superstars losing their hunger? Or is he just out of touch with how the modern NBA works? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video made you see the game in a new light, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. And I'll see you in the next one.